that which we cannot actually observe with our brains. Well, otherwise, I would not be able to do 8-dimensional math. I'm a being that is 3D in nature. It's probably a container for like some higher dimensional thing or whatever the fuck you want to like make logic out of this, because it's the only thing that kind of makes sense. So now imagine this for a second, but then the problem is, wait a minute, you're capable of like doing 8D things using 2D representation of the 8D thing using like metaphor things that are variables. That's called math. And it's just like visualizing what energy is, and it's like you put that on a piece of paper, it makes you sound insane. Like, the more you go into it, the insaner you sound, but if somebody else understood the same thing that you did, you will be the most sane person in the room.
Well, I think maybe we can try
to doesn't make people insane, it just makes people better.
We can try to bring it back to more concrete concepts, though. Like, if we can understand that we can see the shadow of the fourth dimension in the third dimension, I mean, if we can see the shadow, then perhaps we can project light into extra-dimensional space, as it were. And maybe there are things we can do with that.
So I think this is very interesting, right? Like in string theory, the fifth dimension is supposed to influence things like gravity and particles at the very fundamental level. So yeah, I think this would be like super interesting.
Yeah. But the main problem is like one of the main problems out of this is what we're like discussing here is to try and take the thing that's in somebody's brain and like simplify it. So at first you kind of put out there the initial piece of information, so you kind of get a foothold, but it sounds insane and it doesn't make any sense yet. And then you go to the explanation part where like the other person has to tell you what is in their brain, but first they have to open the door. It's like, hey, I want to know what's inside of the room. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me like show you this thing. This is door. Turn the knob, I'm just gonna like open up a little bit, and you have to like open the rest of the door, and then you see like what's inside of it, and you're like, what is this? Now you can talk. Now we can explain. Now that you've accepted that there's stuff inside of the room, we can talk about what this room is and what it contains.
Now we can ponder the orb.
Yes. It's the doorway to greater things. And if you like, the funniest thing is it's also a good CogSec filter as well, cognitive security filter, where you can like confront people with this thing, and if they go insane, they're not worthy of knowing what's behind the door. See, it filters a very specific type of person that can deal with extra-dimensional insanity, but it's not insanity, it's actual sanity. It's just if you try to bring it down in its raw form, it looks like insanity, because it's not a type of thing that equates to the sanity of another being. And so basically you sound like the person that's crazy, but once the person understands what you're talking about, because you can actually help them through the process of understanding this weird stuff, then all of a sudden everything makes sense. Because to you, for instance, let's say if you have a mind that doesn't understand what mathematics are, then everything looks like hieroglyphs. But if you were to actually understand what the math meant and what it was all for, then you don't see hieroglyphs, you see functions, you see a tool by which you can like move energy around in like physical or mental space rather, which is also physical in nature from a perspective of whatever energy is, right? God, I miss doing this.
All the data of the universe in a device that fits in your hand.
Precisely, right? We have like these questions, and it's like, wait, I can't just like ask.
Adrian, I just was thinking about this thought experiment, right? Like, I mean, it seems like, I think whoever is on the panel right now, we seem to understand a lot of things, and we agree on a lot of things, especially on the speech, right? What it's like to be on the other side. Why are people not happy yet? Like, why aren't people supporting? I mean, it seems like a lot of policies being implemented today were pretty much commonsensical policies, right? So I'm just trying to understand, like, yeah.
No matter what you say, there's gonna be someone that is going to disagree with you.
Yes.
Right? There's people like that out there. You could say the most common sense thing out there, and someone out there is gonna fucking disagree with you. You can say water is good for you, and some dickhead says, well, I've survived on Coca-Cola for 15 years, and I'm perfectly fine.
It's an edge case problem where somebody says, well, there are exceptions. I'm like, we don't care about the exceptions. We're trying to generalize here. There are exceptions, but what the hell do we have to like say? you know?
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't want to do the opposite way sometimes, where you're generalizing so much you're not allowing room for exceptions.
Yeah, we can like consider the exceptions with a thing that's called an if statement. Like, what if? And then we can go down that route. First we do generalization. You know, this is how it normally works. Now what if? Like say let's imagine we have like computer sits there and it's fine, it's doing its thing, it's doing, you know, numbers, it's doing computation, you know, and then like what if cosmic ray, and then it does like a bit flip and your system crashes? You know, like what's a cosmic ray? What's a bit flip? You know, cosmic ray interferes with like the binary part of it, where it's like it flips a 0 to a 1 or a 1 to a 0. That's what you call a bit flip, and that's the cosmic ray thing because it does that actually quite frequently. Which is also, by the way, one of the reasons why like Intel chips used to suck, because they did this thing where they like had ceramic shielding, which is actually supposed to prevent this shit from happening. You had like ceramic shielding on top of the Intel chip, but what they did in order to make the ceramic, they basically used water from a river that was downstream from a fucking nuclear power plant.
Wow.
And so they were irradiating their chips, constantly causing bit flips.
There was a speed run of a Mario game.
Yeah, the bit flip happened. It was so fucking cool, and they like jumped a level.
It's so funny. Yeah,
It's such a rare fucking thing, and it was recorded, which is so fucking cool. He didn't know what to do. It even interfered once with an election. There was an election in Europe somewhere where a bit flip caused the outcome to change. So a cosmic interference literally occurred in a fucking European election, and we can prove it.
Hilarious.
That's amazing. Beautiful.
Well, just the fun one about that is that the reason.
That's the whole reason behind why ECC memory was created.
Right, yeah. Oh, and this is also the reason why you have like multiple computers on like a rocket that goes into space, because you need a backup computer in case the other one gets fucked because of the radiation. So that's why we have that.
That was created by NASA when they were trying to send rockets into space.
Yes. But pretty cool, huh? So now we know what like bit flips are. Bit flips are these things that happen because like cosmic rays, and now we can say that there has been cosmic interference in a European election once.
Yes.
And we can scientifically prove it because it was a little particle thing that just does a big ray line. So if you have like a thing that's called a cloud chamber is basically like this. So imagine, okay, so what you do is you are taking, so you take like an LED, okay, so you have like a black, okay, let me start from the beginning. Take an aquarium, you put a black surface at the bottom, right? You put the aquarium on top of this black surface, make sure it's airtight. Then you wrap an LED strip around the bottom of that, such that basically the black part is like lit, but from the side like this. Then what you do is you put like a tray on top of the aquarium itself, where you have something that effectively is extremely cold. You can use like a Peltier plate or whatever you want to do, and you can like drip alcohol on this, and then what happens is that the vapors themselves are extremely cool and then float to the bottom, and then the bottom becomes extremely like an extremely dense layer of alcohol vapor. So dense, as a matter of fact, that now if there's radiation, which there always is, by the way, you will actually see the particles interact with the super dense alcohol vapor and leave behind a little trail. So you can actually see the aftermath of radiation and thereby technically observe the radiation with your naked eyes. That's called a cloud chamber. And so what you can do is you can actually like look at the different trails that the particles leave behind, and you're able to tell which of these particles like are which. You can tell like, you know, alpha, beta, whatever, and it's like a cosmic ray, this big long fucking line that just happens. You can like tell what kind of gases are around, you know, like, you know, all this kind of cool shit. That's like what you can tell with the cloud chamber. The cloud chamber is like, okay, I know what this was that interfered with the election. It was like a big cosmic ray that was like the big line on like the cloud chamber thing. So yeah. Pretty cool, isn't it?
The election result was actually a fun one because the whatever computer system they were using was a binary system, and so what it flipped was like one of the 10,000, one of the switches that referred to the 10,000th or whatever it is. So like the voting was technically right, but they're like where the hell did this extra 10,000 votes come from? That wasn't here, right? And so it was because that one digit got flipped. That it was really, really obvious what had happened. That's how they figured it out.
Yeah. Pretty cool, isn't it? It's just wild.
It's
It's a really crazy thing to say. It's like saying I can prove that a ghost interfered with my thing, but in this case you say that I get to. In this case, you can say that cosmic interference caused an election-like result to be different. Isn't that amazing? I love that. It's so cool. Yeah.
It's not really something you think about.
It sounds magical, mystical. It's like, okay, wait a minute, what is this guy
It
on
was
the
in
rocks?
Belgium. It was in Belgium.
Right, Belgium.
A candidate, I'm not even going to pronounce that, received 4,096 more votes than mathematically possible, which was detected because her total exceeded the number of eligible voters. After a recount, the excess votes were corrected, and the official explanation pointed to a spontaneous creation of a bit at position 13 in the memory in the computer.
So it just like created like 1 million votes.
Well, 4,096 votes.
That's crazy.
Because one of the little bits got flipped. Just like that. Creates various interesting things. Crashes your computer, creates excessive numbers somewhere, changes the level of a game.
If you've ever had a hallucination, there's a possibility that was caused by a fucking particle millions of light years away coming and hitting your fucking computer.
Yes, imagine getting like a DDoS attack from the universe. That's cool.
Wasn't there a guy? He's doing a speed run of like a Mario game, and like
Yeah, that's what we were just saying. Yeah, and then it basically just jumped the level. Yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
I like how I like repetition, but I can show you the transaction.
sorry, I
created the conversation.
I went outside to walk the dog, so I must have missed that bit.
No, no problem. We have the transaction hash here. There you go.
The real question is, can we use this to DDoS China and deep sea?
No, you can't irradiate a population with like cosmic rays. No, and even if we could, we shouldn't do that. That's
You
like
shouldn't, but can you?
it's like no, you really can't. You can't. Can you point me to the next like cosmic ray manufacturer? It's called a black hole. Have you like been able to control one of those lately? No, but like one is called funding for the United States of America. It's also called USA at the moment, but like that's gone. So like no more like so we're not talking about financial singularities. We're talking about like actual singularities. But we don't have those like at our disposal. We can't really like fuck with them. By the point that we can actually fuck with them and control them, then we can actually use gravitational lensing to use space itself as a lens, and then we can make super lasers. Actually, hyper lasers, because the problem right now, as a matter of fact, is that the lenses that we use, if we can actually push an insane amount of power through the current like unit light sources that we have. We can push an insane amount of power through it, but it's just that the focal point of such a laser would destroy the very lens it would go through, and so that causes a bit of an issue, right? It's interesting because it's the same thing that also happens with like an EUV machine, which is the thing that like makes your chips. The chips that are super advanced, the ones like from TSMC, they use like an EUV machine, and that like basically does like lithography, but with so it basically uses light. And so the light that goes through the lens actually changes the lens itself a little bit because it heats the lens up. That same thing happens when you put like a gigantic like laser through a thing, which just basically fucking destroys the lens. There's like one guy who's experimented with lasers, who created a laser so powerful that when he sent the laser through the super pure lens, there was a little bit of impurity there, which shouldn't be because it's there, because it's on you can't really take it away. It shattered the fucking lens when it went through. It sounded like a gunshot and shattered the lens. So you like did that. So if you imagine, hey, there's like one way to solve it. What if we like did a gravitational lensing, turned space into our lens? That's of course bullshit, but if you could, It's like literally called gravitational lensing. Because what do you think happens with the singularity? It's the same shit. It's like I can see that there's like a circle that is like around the thing, but also above and below the thing. But it's like actually not another circle. It's the same circle. It's just the light from behind the thing being bent over the thing itself to your perspective. You can actually see it. You're just seeing like over behind the thing from both ends simultaneously. That's pretty cool. That's why the Gargantua thing in Interstellar looks the way it does. That, by the way, is what a singularity black hole thing with an accretion disk would look like in real life. That is 100% accurate, by the way. Why do we know this?
Yeah,
because
actually,
math.
There's the we've talked about this before. There's the VF.
Yeah, it's double negative. There's the double negative a double negative gravity rendering engine. So they published a paper, a scientific paper, just because of the movie, because they were able to like manufacture this thing, and they like had the scientists work on this. Was it Kip Thorne, I think? And then they like came up with this, hey, we just rendered this, and it looks like that. Is that what it's supposed to look like? Because everybody had like a specific perception of what it would look like, and then that came out as like, is that what it's supposed to look like? It's like, oh yeah, it's supposed to look like that. So that's why it's the most unique looking black hole in all of media that had ever emerged up until that point.
Think about it.
Yeah, it's pretty decent, isn't it? It's pretty nice.
What are you gonna do?
Man, I haven't done these in a while. I could tell people have definitely missed the spaces. We are so back, but like we could have done it differently. But yeah, I mean, awesome stuff. This is funny. It's great to have a bit of a break every now and then to kind of like accumulate a decent amount of like energy, knowledge, and like inertia, and just like kind of dump it. And I've had like a very interesting last couple of weeks, really, with a lot of various elements of adventure that has like changed parts of myself in a very good way, which I'm pretty sure many can like actually notice. There's a different sense of data curation, and there's more of a grasp on some truly esoteric understandings of reality that everybody else has like access to as well, because we're swimming in it. And it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing.
I wanted to ask something. I keep getting my mic turned about the whole 8D stuff. So in theory, if something that's in the 8th dimension casts a shadow in the 7th dimension, it would effectively at some point get down to our dimensions that cast even a 2D shadow.
Well, it's like whenever something is like cast, which is just you remove a dimension from a thing that's supposed to be a shadow, then basically it's like, say I have this 4-dimensional item that's like a 3D item now,
That shadow has a shadow.
Yeah, so like what if life was just a shadow of a bunch of like weird orbs and shit, and it's just fractals. Like, what if it's just fractals, and it's the visualizing metaphor thing, the thing that I showed people, like, in the chat, and they were like, what the fuck is this? I showed them, like, this interconnected web thing that's infinite and simulated. It's pretty cool stuff. The weird thing I sent in chat, it's like kind of threw away, but people probably didn't see that.
It's like twirling and zooming in. Yeah, I saw it.
It wasn't the animated thing, because I never sent anything that's animated. That didn't exist. You don't like me to my wing it. Where was the... It's like when I was posting about I made a triangle. I don't know what's wrong with your audio, but that shit sounds horrible.
Yeah, change your voice isolation mode or something.
Isolation mode is like has a physical thing that he has to plug in. Just like take the physical device, bring it up to you, and like just use that and stop like unplugging the thing, because it's causing like an auditory interference thing that's really, really annoying. That thing, yes. Yeah, don't do that.
I have a, but that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know like where your mic is at, but it seems to be far away from the thing that's, Also, the thing I was referring to, by the way, is called like Indra's net metaphor. So you can look that up, and it's like you start to see things. It's pretty cool. What else are we doing here? This looks interesting. Nice. Awesome. But yeah, man, it was an interesting, it was definitely an interesting appearance for sure. It was very entertaining. Trump is entertaining as usual. I'm left with a feeling of many more interesting things to come, especially economically. And I wonder what that's going to look like for many other nations. It was actually funny because I recently spoke to someone who was like involved in the climate thing, and he was asking him, "Hey, who you're funded by?" And he was like rattling off all those like all those different countries, and then just finishes off by saying, "Not the USA." I'm like, that's a very intentional, specific inflection there. Is that because you are feeling funny about taking U.S. funding? Is that the new tactic? Because like, what if the new tactic for them is to shame the U.S. and say anything that's from them is to be shamed? I'm like, that's a very interesting strategy. Except you have a failure in that strategy of your own. You don't make anything. Like, what do you make? You know, you get all your stuff from like your entire defense is from the United States. Your computers are from the United States. Your tech is from the United States. Your fucking almost everything is, or from other countries around you which are not European. You're not gonna make it.
Mm.
And then it's like, oh, we have the greatest ally that's not even part of the European Union.
And also, the interesting thing is, everything that they import or that we import from Europe won't sell for as much in other countries. So they want to sell it here because they're gonna make more money. Like,
exactly. Actually, I mean, it depends on what they're selling. For like the stuff that they do make, there's still merit when it comes to like the precision components for various types of machines. That's really what they kind of excel at, but it's a very, very niche market. So, problem for them. That's the only thing that they have an advantage in. But here's where the problem is. Not only does it cost much, but it costs much to manufacture, and not just because it's like the skilled labor that's behind it, but also because labor in general is very expensive in Europe. So much so that it makes more sense for them to physically ship the parts for like a machine that they manufacture, assemble it in China, and send it back to them. Or send it from that point to somewhere else, wherever the customer may be. So it would be a German, let's say imagine you like have German components machine that's assembled in China. Because the cost is just too damn high to put like screws together, because like the labor cost is insane. So you're just doing the Intel thing now. Intel as in intelligence, not Intel as in the fucking company. But you know what I mean. It's interesting. So that's the only thing that Europe still makes. It's like precision components for various things. Lenses, for instance, are a big thing there. Like the size lenses. It's actually the first lenses that I like use. Are pretty cool.
The Chinese embassy in the U.S. posted, if war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end.
Jesus fucking Christ, is that real? Pin it to the top, please, if it is. That is crazy. I want to see this with my own eyes. Yeah, pin that shit to the top. I want to see that. That is some wild fucking shit. Wow. That's not good. That's bad. That's very bad.
What does it mean for Taiwan?
Nothing good. Anything tension-wise between the U.S. and China is nothing that can reflect well on Taiwan.
And
let's have a look.
That's true, yeah.
You're telling me, man. Alright, let's have a look here. Jesus Christ, it's real. Is this wait, there's no way that they're... Are you sure that they're actually posting this, or this is like not some sort of hack?
Yes.
Yeah, they've had several other posts since then.
Damn. This is pretty, like...
Also keep in mind that they posted it on another official Chinese spokesperson account as well.
If the U.S. truly wants to solve the fentanyl issue, they did it with a hashtag, which is interesting, then the right thing to do is to consult with China by treating each other as equals. This is the thing that's important now. You left that one out. If we're and then the line of if the war, beat whatever it is. Yeah, that is an interesting thing. Because they're complaining about the reasoning of the U.S. raising tariffs due to like
Yeah, but I think what it did catch my attention is any other type of war.
Yeah, that part is a
very
little bit- that's a
clearly
little bit
raising
funky.
the specter of a hot war, which is
Yeah.
wild.
they're using this as like the packaging. They're using the fentanyl backlash thing as like a packaging, but this is quite crazy. Damn, dudes, this is.
I mean, it's a very notable ratcheting up of the rhetoric, and given all of the kind of hardline stances we've seen about China, some cause for concern.
Indeed, indeed. Very true, very true. That's fucking crazy, man. I can't believe that's real. That is wild. Jesus.
To be fair, that follows the timeline of war by 2027, which I'm pretty sure is what the goal is, so.
There are like means by which we can like invert that, but I don't know. Maybe some things really do happen. But at the end of the day, we can still kind of like chud this and go nothing ever happens. But we'll see. Somebody needs to turn this into a chud that can turn this into a chud jack meme. If you guys know what a chud is,
Probably
you know,
not be.
yeah, fucking, I want a chud jack meme of a nothing ever happens Chinese embassy, like, you know, Hogwarts escalation ratchet thing. Yeah, dude, if this post explodes, that would be fucking funny as hell. I made like a post where I think it could go up in numbers, but we'll see.
I'm just thinking, like, what could be their game plan? Like, they are not superior to the US in a lot of things, and we have a lot of allies. A lot of countries surrounding China is an ally for the US. So what's their game plan? Like, we are friends with Japan, we are friends with Taiwan, we are friends with India. Like, what's exactly their game plan? I'm thinking.
Wait, what do you mean we're friends with India?
Well, if there is a war that's going to break out, then do you think India won't be on our side?
India is trying to play like a central role between like the powers. They're trying to kind of like do like a shitty version of Singapore, where they're trying to like keep both sides happy. So like they're like negotiating with Trump, but at the same time they're enacting friendly with Trump, but at the same time they're like in BRICS. So
Right.
I don't know.
Do we think India's going to stay in BRICS, though?
I think so, because they're right now they're working on improving their relationship with China. I mean, they recently talked to each other. I think they've resumed flights now as well.
No, but you don't think they would side with China when there's a war, right?
I don't know, honestly.
I mean, India literally fought wars with China in the
I know,
Yeah.
I know, but that's like saying, like, what do you think India was trying to with the UK in the case of a war? Right? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the position of, I don't know what India's gonna do. India is very unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because I know the Indian people are probably going to prefer to side with the US over China. But I think the Indian government is kind of going to realize that you can't really survive without, like, actually resources and manufacturing.
Please don't scroll.
Right.
So I'm not as confident that the Indian government is going to do the same. I think India is going to try to do what, like, Turkey and the UAE have done during the Ukraine-Russia war, which is try to be, like, neutral on both sides.
Imagine if they're just like, we can't fight China. We can't be friends with the other side either. What if we're like, hey, if you guys want to like go through like, you know, this place towards each other, you can like build nice roads and like, you know, kind of not meet in the middle. That would be preferable.
I would like to think they won't go nuclear with anyone, I suppose.
No.
Yeah.
Nah, nuclear is not gonna happen. The level of last resorts that need to occur for nuclear to exist as like a consideration for anything warlike is just wild. So, yeah.
What I find funny is
I mean, I think there's some stage, probably, where if you have enough nuclear weapons, you can just go around bombing fucking non-nuclear countries, and there probably won't be any nuclear weapons. Because, like, if you got, like, 100, let's say, nukes, and you just start bombing some random country, right? I don't think the US or Russia are gonna get involved nuclearly. They're not gonna have a
Nuclearly. Just say nuclearly, Brett.
Yeah. They're probably gonna put sanctions on you, but I don't think they're gonna blow you.
Well, me? Okay. Your base department, check this. Check this out. You get it?
That would have been wild.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be a bit of a problem. Yes. Yes, brother. It happens.
I think if there's a war with the US and China, I think it's gonna be a situation of countries choosing which one is more important to them, whether the resources are more important to them, food, water, manufacturing, the things they need for the country to function, or whether like the financials are more important to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think another big part of it is going to be finding out how extensive and deep the Chinese infiltration of the United States and allies has been, because I have a feeling it's pretty extensive.
Yeah, the Chinese probably are more in the system than most people would think. Especially since you have to consider that pretty much every single fucking jet and plane and whatever the US military uses components from China.
This here is nice. Let's see what happens next. What is this? Bruh. Absolutely just bruh. You know, I sometimes don't like understand the types of like requests that come into spaces. Like this one that it literally has as a banner, follow me. I'm like, what? But that's just platform manipulation. Ever heard of that? That'll get you banned so fucking hard. Like, there's a thing that people need to understand about growing anything. What do you have to sell? And what level of attention is going to buy that? This is what people need to understand. It's all about network states. It's all that it is. Okay, X.com is a sim cluster video game. What you're trying to do is you're trying to provide something of value that then gets picked up. Now, oftentimes, there's inflation, where then basically a bunch of people do engagement farming, but eventually the system gets a nice governing structure, and it says, we detected the money printer. It's going to be turned off now. And then the value of engagement changes. And there are many different ways by which this is done. Right, none of which I'll explain, because fuck that. That's why. You're supposed to focus on is creating stuff that is of value. And asking people for follow backs, or asking people for just engagement, or trying to inorganically create these things is not going to be the play. It's not going to be the move, rather. It has to be a thing that organically happens. It has to be organic, natural interest. Manufactured artificial interest does not exist, and it's bullshit. It's never going to get there. Something that can help you save your money as well. And so that shit is not going to work. You're not going to get anywhere with that.
I don't get it. You only identify me with one side of my ancestry. What is this? It's
about the black continent you come from.
And with useful...
Listen, I'll take it a step further. On my Dominican side, I'm probably a descendant of Christianized Moors. I think
The Moors were never Christianized.
Yes, they were. Most of you, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about.
No. Let me finish.
You have to consider eventually you get to a higher level of these things. But always one thing that you have to remember is keep quality as the metric of consistency. Never should you waver in this, because if you do, then everything goes down to hell and you'll burn so quickly what you've taken so long to build up as well. And if you begin with a no quality thing, you're fucked by default. You're sitting there, and then there's nothing you can do. So that one account that's requesting there, that's doing the very thing that I just described, which is the thing that you should not be doing. Take this as a lesson, and I'm going to remove your fucking grifter ass from this space. Go fuck yourself, and come up with something that's actually better.
Elon Musk just kicked me?
What is that? It requests on his face like that, and doesn't it? First of all, a level of rude entitlement is just wild. It's not even following me, which is hilarious. Just for that alone, I'm fuck you. What is that?
Those accounts are really fucking.
What is this? What level of spam is this? How about no? Yeah, it's the thing with Monty Python, or wherever that came from. Not even it wasn't even Monty Python. It was the other one. It was Dr. Evil. How about no? It's funny. Again, and it's interesting because I've been there myself. I've been on the level of where we all started at zero, and I really did start at fucking zero with this, and then eventually created something.
I thought you were the greatest of all the gods. Now look at you.
An account does not get deleted without getting recalled.
I showed you mercy. I will make that
And if they
mistake.
find a response, y'all the crew to fall in, but his account is just so shit, right? But it's just nothing chaotic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, he's got the indefinite follow now because it's not Yamaka is actually here. He pretends not to be here, so he's not going to do anything. He's going to change as little things about his account as possible to kind of keep the false, pretense of not being here thing keep going. So it's hey, I have this thing. And my thing is that I'm not here. Okay, so what am I talking to? Are your posts in the room with me? Because of replies that you say aren't posts are actually counted to the total of posts on your profile. That means that by definition those replies are actually posts, and that means that you're actually technically back. Because you're not just interacting with us, you're also literally posting things, because when you make a comment, the counter for posts goes up. By the way, very interesting for reply guys to know that. That also means that the more replies you do, the less engagement you get on your main timeline because you're spamming the shit out of yourself. If you're a content creator, you can just, do a shit ton of replies and have a single hit piece of like content, which is, you know, like a big article or something, keep that on your profile. The rest of the time you just like out there engaging, doing your thing, you like have your content with replies, but that's not gonna like get you as much reach as you normally get. But that's an interesting strategy. You can definitely pull it off. There's like people who I know that just basically chase meme replies. Oh, the other way around. Okay, so anyway, that's not what I was referring to, but no, we I don't smoke like at all. I don't really drink. I've never. Okay, so basically to summarize, the only things that I consume, which would be, you know, mind-altering substances, are basically none. I keep painkillers to none. I drink coffee and perhaps an energy drink occasionally, so that I don't just like feel accelerated. Then alcohol is just an occasion thing. I don't drink it unless it's like an occasion, or if it's I'm just chilling with a bunch of people, and it's just a random idea, and I say, hey man, let's go to a bar. You know, like I was doing this with our friend Trent, and I was going to a bar with them, and we had like a Negroni, and it was really, really good. It was nice. It was a good tasting thing. I'm probably gonna have it again, because I don't know shit about like alcohol or cocktails or anything. So I'm like, okay, so what are you gonna have? And then, you know, he ordered that thing, and I ordered that thing as well, and I drank it. I'm like, damn, dude, that's actually pretty good.
What's a Negroni? Is that like fruity or is it?
Yeah, it's fruity. I don't know what it is either. I just know what the name is. I know it's a weird red drink with a bunch of ice in it and tastes like a grapefruit.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
It is really good. You've got some strange taste buds. He drinks the Green Monster energy drink. I fucking tasted that shit. It was disgusting. I can't do that.
You like the white one?
The white one slaps, man. The white one is on top.
I bought one the other day because of you.
It's like marketing effect was wrong with me.
I just saw it in the. I bought one too. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why. It was just.
It's the memes, man. Dude, literally, I saw that shit in the fridge when I was in New Zealand, and I was like, dude, I feel the memes speaking to me. I'm just gonna fucking buy it and eat like a pie with it. And I'm sitting there chugging the shit. I'm like, damn, this tastes just like what the memes feel like. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Very dark. We're all black, right? They're like, you're all black.
Yeah, that was the first one, because I never really wanted to drink the energy drink, so I thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna get that because the memes are interesting, so I want to know what the rage is all about, and I took a sip of it, and I'm like, damn, dude, that's actually the best energy drink that I've ever had. I don't like energy drinks, I really dislike it because they taste weird, but that one actually tastes pretty good.
They were not black, because I don't know if they think black means dark.
No,
But it's funny how
not really.
there's no differentiation in between the blacks in America, right? Or Africans, they're all just niggers.
Yeah.
Battery acid? Wow, that's a new one. I've never had it before in my life. That's crazy.
It has it almost like
I said, when did you taste battery acid?
well, it's like the aesthetic of battery acid, but.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
If that makes sense, like yes. Yeah.
What are you gonna
I
drink,
guess,
Kathy?
but for me, it just tastes like brake fluid. Is
It
that like
has the brain feel of battery acid.
Okay, that makes sense. It has a brain feel of battery acid, but also kind of like has the weird associative hash of brake fluid.
What are you gonna do,
What brake fluid
Kathy?
smells like. That's what the thing tastes like.
Yeah.
It's like with Pepsi. It's like not with Pepsi. It's sorry, the other one. It's like with you know, fucking Sprite and window cleaner.
Huh?
I actually had Sprite recently, and I really grew out of it. I'm like, ugh, this tastes disgusting now. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's funny, my preferences changed so hard because actually,
But then when we say,
Coke is still the best.
we're black, they're like, we're not
Coke is
black.
still so good.
I don't know if they think black means dark.
It's great. You should try it. Just try it out.
tried it, but I hate it so much.
No.
Okay, so you
You're
did have it.
right.
Yeah, but I didn't finish it. Like it was like one sip. Done.
You didn't like it? Didn't like it?
No, it was like repulsive. Like
Dude, I tried it for the first. I still remember the exact. Dude, I can't believe I just remember that. I still remember the exact fucking scenario in which I tried it for the first time, and it instantly like one-shot me. It was like somebody was holding a door open. It was like one of the people that I worked with. And it's like, hey, you ever had a Coke before? I'm like, nah, man. Here you go, try it. And I like took a sip of it. And I'm like, this tastes amazing. I want
how old
more.
were you? How old were you?
I was like 13 at the time.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I was 13 at the time.
Yeah, my dad.
Ironically enough, I had like various types of alcohols before I had the Coca-Cola, so that's funny. The reason why this is because Europeans. Actually, this is a funny story. I was 9 years old or something like that, almost, actually no, 10, and I went to my grandparents' house. And for some reason, so they were outside, they were chilling, okay? And one of the visitors like brought a little, a bottle full of this distilled alcohol liqueur thing. It's schnapps, basically. It's schnapps, and it's the crystal fucking clear. It's beautifully pure. Anyways, like they were doing the adults thing, and I wanted to try some. Anyways, no, never got to try it. Took a little bit of taste of it, like a little drop, literally a fucking drop, just a taste. It was like a pure thing. It was so fucking rich and so great. Anyways, they were outside playing, doing their thing. I was playing out there as well, and I wanted to go outside to get like to drink some water, and I didn't want to drink from the tap. And I thought, man, I gotta drink some water. And I see this tiny little glass with like this clear liquid, and I have no idea why I thought it was a good idea to drink that. There was like random fucking glass, tiny glass with like clear liquid in it. Let's just chug that, you know? Child brain says that. Anyways, I look at the thing, I pick it up, I chug the full fucking thing down, and my shit's on fire. I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. And that was my first experience. I was a little fucking like 10, just fresh off of 9 years old, little dude that took a shot of fucking German schnapps without even knowing it. And I was like, I'm gonna die. I was having a panic situation because I was like, whoa, what did I just take? Did I take someone's medication? Because, you know, you're at an old person's house and they like drink the thing down that like tastes like, I don't know what that is. And you just put that down. You're like, what the fuck is this? And then I take someone's medication. Am I gonna die? I'm just gonna like eat something. I was like complete survival. Like I randomly took something out of the fridge and drank something and just sat there for a little bit and I didn't tell anyone.
Adrian, do you mind if I steal that for like a piece of writing I'm doing?
If you can cite me in some capacity, then yes.
Yes, I will. And I'll send it to you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, do it.
You'll enjoy it.
Sure, 100%. Go ahead.
That's great.
There was another time I did something similar. It seems to be a consistent meme with me where I just take things and I don't tell. Where this one time, so you know argan nuts, which make argan oil from the argan tree. This stuff is very interesting. It's a beautiful, argan oil is an intensely nutty, delicious oil, especially when cold pressed. It is beautiful. Hang on a second. Bro, that's crazy. Sorry. Anyways, I just read something else. That's crazy work. Anyways, so get back to the argan trees, right? So there's this beautiful, nutty, intense oil, and the wood, by the way, is extremely hard. You can rip a piece of the wood off. Don't really encourage you to do this because they only grow in Morocco. And you can like put it in water and it fucking sinks. That's how dense it is. It's amazing. And it's so fucking hard to like take off the fucking tree. Normally you can just like rip shit off a tree. This shit, no. Full fucking like big dude try to rip the fucking thing off the tree, not gonna budge. You gotta like cut it off somehow. And even at that you can have problems. Gonna make him knife dull. Anyways.
Yeah.
Goats. Now we're gonna get into the goat territory. So we have the argan trees that grow there. They grow on like this expansive landscape. It's the craziest thing you'll ever see. And there's like tons and tons of them. They're big, old. They're probably centuries old at this point already. Trees that are standing there, and goats are crawling inside and on top of the big tree. Somehow, the goats have figured out we can climb trees now. Okay? And what the goats do is when the fruit turns yellow, where the seed is on the inside, you have like flesh on the outside, and they have the seed on the inside, and the seed is what you then mill to turn into the oil. They eat those seeds, like they eat the flesh off of it, and just like kind of shit out the seeds and whatever else, right? Now they're not going to take the shit out seeds for anything like that. That's not what's happening here. But it's interesting that the goats are doing this. So you see the goats feeding on this, and they fucking love it. This is important context, by the way, and we'll get into exactly why in just a second. So the goats do this. So anyways, I went to a place where they were actually making the argan oil by hand, and they were sitting there with like these old stone mills, and they were like grinding the argan seeds into a paste. And it smelled amazing. It smells so beautiful. Taste it, like you can smell it. It almost smells like something that a bakery smells like, but all the good parts, not the annoying parts, all the really tasty, you want to taste it kind of like thing where it's like, I want to really taste it for the fucking reason. You can't explain it, but it's there. So that took over my mind. And what happened was, I decided, there's paste there, and I know that that paste contains the stuff and it looks delicious. I'm going to social engineer this person to like allow me to taste it, but I'm going to do it the other way around. So what I did was I went up to him, a little fucking kid, imagine this, I'm like 8 years old, and I like go up to the woman there, I'm like, hey man, can I like try and do this, just to like see what it's like? I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, take a little break, and then I'm doing the thing, I'm looking around, being like this little fucking kid, so like, I'm still milling the thing, like trying to get in circles, and then I take my finger and take a little bit of a dip from that and put it in my mouth. Oh my god, it was so fucking bitter. It was the most bitter thing I've ever tasted in my fucking life. And I even swallowed it. So I am there, and I'm like, completely shocked. I'm stunned. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna get up now and just like walk away and just do my thing. And this entire time I'm just standing there like a fucking statue, and my eyes are like popping out because I'm stressed as fuck. And anyways, I go in the back of the car, we do like a whole road trip, and I don't say a word. I don't say a single word the entire time. I'm normally a very chatty person, but at that time I said absolutely nothing for like 4 or 5 hours straight. Because my entire tongue was numb, and I felt like I was gonna die. I was like, oh my god, am I about to die? Because like whenever something really strange like that happened to me, my brain instantly was like, oh no, it's over for me. What the fuck do I do? So I'm sitting there, and I'm constantly having like an existential crisis for like hours on end. And I never told anyone. And they were like, oh wow, it was so nice. You were so nice and silent during the road trip. And I was having a road trip because I was having a fucking existential crisis due to the bitter ass fucking nut paste from the fucking argan tree because the goats psyoped me. I saw the goats fucking eating it. I got the smell and I tasted it. I was like, it's amazing. And I saw the paste and I thought, this probably tastes sweet. Fucking takes a dip, and it's the most bitter thing I've ever tasted in my entire fucking life. It was insane. I swallowed the shit too. And then I was just sitting there, and I didn't tell anyone this for like a decade and a half. And then I told them one day, I'm like, hey, remember the one time I was super stressed? And they were like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's like.
So I know what raw argan tastes like. 10 out of 10 don't recommend. Fucking goats are insane for drinking that.
Wow.
Wild, eh?
Yeah.
That is pretty that is something.
Yes. Absolutely. But you're very picky about what you put in your body. Like.
Yes.
What about have you ever taken like a prescription medication?
No.
No? Like
No.
I'm trying to think of one like antibiotics.
I've taken antibiotics. I might have taken it probably once because I had an infection with a leg.
Yeah.
That's a bad one. I went into like a tropical brackish water. By the way, quick safety announcement. If you ever go to the tropics and you get like a wound, don't ever step into the fucking brackish water. You are going to absolutely regret it. There is bacteriologically active stuff in that water that's gonna really fuck with you, man.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. It was the only time I actually took antibiotics.
Brackish is
Then there was like this one time where I had like the absolute like worst shits because there was something in the water. And I knew what it was, but I also didn't know at the time, and I knew later what it was. They prescribed me medication, like the fucking antibiotics, for like basically having a liquid shit problem. And I'm like, are you guys insane? You're like doctors and you're prescribing me a thing that's gonna destroy my microgut biome. Just like, are you guys insane? I didn't say this to their face. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I'm 100% gonna take it in the back of my mind. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna do this. What do you think? I'm retarded? And I'm like, no. So I go to like the thing, take the scribble paper, and give it to the person at the counter, and he's like, gives me back a bunch of pills. I put them in my pocket. And I never take them. Same thing with the pain medication that they gave me once, because I like sliced into my finger right down to the bone once. I like stitched that shit up. It was actually a funny story, because that's like one of the reasons why I don't trust doctors anymore. Is because I looked at it and he was like, hey, that's not so bad. I'm gonna like move my finger a little bit so I can get the muscle connection back. And like, no, you're not supposed to move it. I'm like, yeah, you are. I'm just not gonna say it out loud. So what do? Mobile games. I start using my finger as much as possible. I get the connection back, and when things are working, you know? Yeah. And anyways, I see the woman, I'm like, you know what? They say that I have to like pull this shit out in like a week. They like want to take it out of me. I'm like, that's not healed. If I do this, that shit's gonna like open back up again. He said, no man, you gotta come in, you gotta get the thing removed. I'm like, okay, fuck it, I guess. I'm gonna trust them with this one last thing. And they gave me like pain medication for a slice in my finger. I'm like, it doesn't hurt that bad. If it's bad, it hurts, and I physically cry from the pain, okay, that's an argument. You know, then you take your pain meds. But for a fucking cut in the finger? Like right there where the bone is? Okay, no.
Dude,
not that bad. It's not that bad.
What level
You know?
of pain is that? Like,
I don't really know. It's just pain. You know, it's not. It's a level of pain that doesn't drive you to like crying, for instance. It's just kind of there. It's annoying when you like move your hands a little bit too quickly.
I've dislocated both my shoulders at once.
Ooh, yeah, that you're gonna want to take painkillers for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, that's different. That one you're gonna have to take painkillers from. That's not. You're not gonna make that one.
I had a seizure, and I fell between my bed and my desk. And
wow.
Yeah, like I met a nurse actually that lived on my street, and she was like, "You're the
You're the first person that happened to?
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like your own ChatGPT now.
Yeah. Like I was like, I like it. Like,
you fucking legend, mate. You fucking.
They had me ever like at the hospital, like, and yeah, I don't remember much of.
Yeah. Now that you definitely would want to take painkillers. Yeah, 100%. That's understandable.
Yeah.
But like for my thing, I was like, there's no fucking way I can like tough this out. There's nothing to it. It's like not that bad. To give me painkillers, so that is insane. Anyways, that they did, and then they told me to like come in and get the finger thing. So it's like a bunch of strikes. Right? It's like 2 strikes. It's like one, you're going against the logic of how to restore nerve connections. Then you go against the logic of like it's not that bad of a pain. You should definitely know what the pain is because you like injected me with like a painkiller on that place to basically do the stitching, so I wouldn't scream like hell because that's what you do, of course. So you definitely understand that what you're giving me is way over the top because you're like basically inundating my entire fucking body with painkiller substance just to like get the little fucking slice thing. Wild, okay? Anyways.
How do you
I go there, they fucking like remove the stitches and the wound just like I predicted opened up, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna trust these motherfuckers with anything ever again. If I want to get my stitches, I'm gonna get my stitches. If I ever cut myself like that again, by accident, by like we use tools or whatever like that, so either I'm gonna do it myself, which I'm definitely not gonna do because the pain's gonna be unbearable. If I do go there, I'm just not gonna like show up within like 2 to 3 weeks, I'm gonna just show up in like 2 to 3 months, like, or take it out myself, because I could have just done it myself. Wow. Just stitches, and they use like these plastic strings for this. So I could have just done that myself. I don't even know why I did that. I just did it because I felt, not.
How do you feel about topical anesthetics, like numbing, like type stuff, like?
That's fine. It depends on like the problem that I have with the painkillers are the side effects. The painkillers themselves, if they had no side effects, fuck it, man, I'd take them a lot. I actually take one painkiller sometimes that's like paracetamol, like, you take Panadols or paracetamols, those things, like if you have like a problem somewhere and you have like a headache and you need to get rid of that shit quickly, that's one of the ones that you can like use. They're great. So I don't have a problem with painkillers in principle. I'm not like the person that says, oh, you gotta tough it out because you're a man. So that's fucking shit stupid. No, I'm a person who says, what are the side effects? How often do I take it? And how does it actually become a problem? And just kind of math out the scenario and you'd be like, okay, this is an issue or this is not an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of like how I rationalize it. Because if the painkillers, the side effects of those painkillers that they were prescribing were just not acceptable. I'm like, this is just too risky. The chance of like experiencing harm as a result of this is so high, it is literally an unacceptable risk level.
You
so
really
I'm not
think
doing
that it. With paracetamol, acetaminophen in this state, that it's like that detrimental?
Bro, I want to know what they prescribe to a person in the United States if you come into like a hospital with a headache. If they give you hard drugs, I swear to God, it's going to be hilarious.
No, they don't. They don't.
Because they do have a huge opioid epidemic, especially academic law.
But they also like there's this whole drug seeker thing, like drug addicts faking like the pain to get like painkillers.
Yeah.
So that's like a bigger problem than anything else, really.
True. That's why you have an actual opioid crisis, but they're also prescribing these things, and they're so addictive that it basically is just like, why are you even prescribing them in the first place when you can just like not do that?
Yeah, I mean, it was much worse like in the 90s and like the early 2000s with OxyContin, because the OxyContin back then was instant release, whereas now it's like 8 hour
Slow release.
Yeah, and it's just like way different. And
you're a slow release, I'm fast release. We like complement each other.
Yeah.
He's like, you're doing the talking, I'm doing the talking for you as well. I'll get my hair in so get the hash power down.
Yeah, we're sync though. It's good.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's the 21 network effect.
Yeah, for sure.
21 network effect.
Yeah. Yeah, I will never. Yeah, painkillers are no good for me. Like opioids, that is like never again. Like it's you just don't need it most of the time. Like naproxen, sodium, I think is the best painkiller. Actually, like I think that's like because paracetamol will actually mess with your liver pretty bad. Like you really shouldn't take it, especially if you drink every day. Like it'll destroy your liver.
Right.
And and naproxen is much more safe. Like
good thing I don't drink every day, so that's fine.
Yeah. No,
it depends on also like the load you put your liver on and like how well you hydrate and all the stuff you do to yourself on top of that. So
I got healthy around like 27 or so because I didn't really give a shit until about then. And that was about a good age to kind of give a shit. Like it was very much like make or break. Like I could be a fat alcoholic in 5 years, like from now, or like with like a weird liver, and a distended belly, or I could not be that and just look attractive.
What's wrong with a distended belly?
It's people commit to that, and they don't, they know that they're gonna look like shit in 10 years. They'll take it any day. It's weird though. Europeans kind of they don't really have that effect as much, I think, as Americans do. Like being aged out by constant kind of drinking and whatnot.
I mean, they start their kids on early. You should see what the fucking French do. They give you like a little wine at age 13. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I did it differently. I used to like sneak the alcohol because I would be like, okay, my parents are like drinking this to like chill off, and I'm just like scouting the glass, and I'm like making mathematical calculations in my head as to who's gonna move when, where, and how, and then just like basically gauge the vibe. And then I just like make my move, go there and take a decent fucking sip, and then just sit there and go like, ah.
Wow. Just
Yep, that's how we do it.
Yeah. Yeah, America would go woohoo.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Alright. By the way, what do you guys think? Shall we like shut it for today and like do a bunch of other things and do our things that we have to like do?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, anyways. Let me see you guys. This is fun. We're gonna do this again, probably tomorrow or the day after. We'll see what happens. You know, be ready for a space. It can pop up at any minute, anywhere. And entertainment, whatever we do, is always guaranteed. So we're not gonna like bore the shit out of you. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. This is fun. See you guys again tomorrow. And of course, have me on timeline. I keep posting memes like crazy, and I'm gonna be around and we'll do things. But yeah, thanks for coming, everyone. And yeah, if you enjoy what I do here and you like to have a bit more insights, just like subscribe to me. Look to my the subscriber exclusive content. There's like a thing there which is could be interesting. So yeah, it only costs like $1. There's an interesting like barrier to entry for people. So yeah, just subscribe to me. It's a thing. You won't regret it. It's amazing.
Great choice, yeah.
All right.
Must be so interesting. Like get in a car, right? Their experience is limited to
What the fuck kind of man I look like? Sitting back. My wife get that kind of fire gun, and I'm sitting there, oh baby, now you just calm down. Nah, nigga, I'm probably a serial killer for real. What about 300 bodies out there while y'all bullshitting and thinking you know a nigga? I'm just saying. Like, if she said that shit, nah, buddy, she's not that type of person. So I'm just saying, any certain situations can bring that up in the best of us. She's not controversial. She's not angry. She's not mad at a bitch ass thing. But even someone like that, it can be brought up in and riled up in.
No, I get it.
To have somebody who, if she'll do that for a stranger, what will she do for something that happens to you?
No, I get it. Like I said, I've been in that situation with my own baby mama, and I didn't want her to die. Like, nigga, I was telling shit as a nigga that been through it. Like, no, I'm not finna put you in danger. I don't want you to be in the fight.
You put her in danger by knowing what type of woman you got and letting her know what you had going on. Because you know she wanted to.
And you want to know something, John? You want to know something secret? After they murk you, they still come and see your family. You got people like that. After they murk your ass, they still come and see your family.
You let her know what was going on, knowing the type of woman she is, and expecting her to do nothing, turn the other cheek. That's dumb.
That's why I would lie. That's why the heavy on the lie.
In that situation, see, you looking for somebody that want to talk you off the edge because you ain't really about that shit.
No.
What you want her to do?
No.
So you just
I don't need you to do that. I just need you out the way.
Take her in your
I just need you out the way.
And leave you by yourself.
I just need you out the way.
Who got your back?
I just need you out the way.
That's not a woman who got your back. A woman who got your back gonna do everything in her power to make sure they're going out there shooting with you or getting you to not go shoot at all.
Facts.
But leaving you by yourself is the stupidest thing.
That's true.
That is not having your back to leave you out there to do the shit by yourself so you can die by your lonely.
What?
Man, Big Tim, what kind of advice is this? Ride or die advice? What the fuck, man? Read the scriptures, dog.
Like I said,
It's called only advice.
at the end,
Okay, I don't know, Burger King. You guys are able to have these jobs partially due to DEI.
That's not true. How do you know that?
What do you mean?
How do you know that? Where's your research that tells you that?
Can I say something?
I mean, hey, if you could flip a mean burger, I mean, sure. Like, I bet you could get that job on your own. But for the most part, most Black people in America and also other minorities and LGBTQ
Give you a duffel bag of cash. And why was I doing that?
It's simple. You had the upper hand, then you were encouraging them to grow opium. Now that the Taliban is in power, they encouraging them to grow some other shit.
Bro, they had to work in hard, bro. You know how hard they had to work it during the U.S.'s involvement during that time? 80% of the world's production of opium was coming out of Afghanistan. Y'all motherfuckers were the biggest drug dealers in the world, bro.
Yeah, like I say, America has a history of that. They did that during the 70s and the 60s. America has a long history of drug dealing, even in their own community. Can't forget Freeway Rick Ross, Bumpy Johnson. We can't forget the Mafia. We can't forget Nevada. American guys, that them troops were sending that pure heroin from Vietnam.
Bro, there was nothing stopping the Afghanistans from growing wheat. We just wouldn't buy your fucking wheat. We don't need wheat. But we do need
bingo.
We do need. Okay then. So the point of the matter is, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You talking about, we could have made them grow wheat. Why the fuck would we make them grow wheat when we don't need no goddamn wheat? We have wheat over in our country. We grow wheat here. That's wheat coming from motherfucking Canada. We don't need wheat from Afghanistan. So if we don't need nothing from you, and you can't make no money from it, then that's up to you, bruh. You could have grown wheat. Y'all just would have had a whole bunch of bread. That's it.
No, they can sell it now. Now they grow saffron. They grow different type of crops. They can sell it to Qatar. They can sell it to Iran. So the problem is you was holding the people that want to buy their wheat and their saffron out of the country. So basically you have monopoly. You wanted them to grow what you wanted. I'm glad he admitted that. It's like you don't want to buy their wheat, so you told them to grow opium. Just admit that, man. Pernell, you cool. But how many troops were smuggling opium though, in the bases and shit? I heard it was like a rampant thing that troops used to use a lot of drugs in Afghanistan.
You can't talk about that's classified.
That's not declassified.
I mean, y'all could try to the United States military or whatever. I mean,
no, we're not dissing. We just want to know their stories.
People do drugs all the time. As a matter of fact, some of the people that end up doing drugs in the military is usually due to the gateway from the opioids from them getting hurt. It's just one of those things, man. Motherfuckers go jumping from a plane, or they do some kind of fucking training and they hurt their back. You know what I'm saying? And they go to physical therapy. They get the freaking drugs, the opioids, and that's the only thing that get them relief. And next thing you know, if they can't get the opioids no more, they turn to shit like heroin. I'm not here to tell you. If you waiting for me to tell you that motherfuckers in the military don't do drugs or don't end up doing drugs, you messing with the wrong person. Because when you get your fucking foot blown the fuck off, there's a good chance you might end up on drugs, dog. It's just because of the amount of fucking drugs they're gonna give you just to get you out of the fucking pain to begin with. Yes, people in the military, some of them take drugs. Oops.
So when are we gonna go back to Afghanistan and blow up all of our shit?
Do you feel like you got a win on that one?
Pernell seems like he wants to go back and blow some shit up.
What the fuck for? You know what I'm saying? I just want to see young Afghan farmers succeed. You know what I'm saying? I want to see the Taliban, get this shit together, stop killing their people over fucking drugs. What they gotta do is get more control over them and have them plant the freaking poppy seeds and sell it and whatever they gotta do, and just make it to where they don't take it. You know what I'm saying? Make it to where they don't take it and make motherfucking, because I mean, the drugs, there's nothing wrong in making the drugs. Okay, bam, there's nothing wrong, baby. We already established that, right? The problem is them using it for heroin. So if the Taliban
just stop them from using it for heroin, then there's no reason to kill them from planting the damn poppy seeds because it's not. You don't have to use it for bad. You can use it for good.
They grow right now. They're growing more profitable crops. Something called the what do you call it? The Persian saffron. Gotta go to your local Indian shop and get you some
saffron. Man, I've bought some saffron. That shit ain't fucking. What's the point? It's not amazing. Like, what do you do with it? It's like a garnet. Like, you put it in your salad. You put it in your tea. What the fuck is saffron?
Yeah, what's up with this dude, man? Like, what's going on? Is he a feedback? Like, he's a character. No, I can't. I mean, you can make. You never been to Kava, nigga? Like Kava, they have saffron rice. You can make saffron tea, all kinds. It's good for you. It's expensive, like you know.
Yeah, but I don't want to eat nothing that all these Persians on their hands and knees picking it off of the floor. It's dirty.
Man, shut your ass up, man. You eat dirty ass hogs and pigs and shit, all kind of.
I say we just dropped nuclear bombs all over Afghanistan and destroy all of our military equipment we left. It's too dangerous to let them have those guns and those tanks and those APCs and helicopters.
Go get that shit, man.
It's what we should have done the first time, is just dropped a nuclear bomb on their ass.
That's what Pernell wanted to do.
But y'all see,
show us which account.
You see how they be trying to blame the United States for their own shit? Like, the United States didn't make them Afghanistan smoke heroin. That's a failure on the freaking on the freaking religious people over there.
Nah, you were stressing them out with your guys. Look at your homeboys in with their guys, man. They were stressed out because you were killing their people with their flip-flops and their dresses and shit. You know? So can we say the same thing about the crack epidemics or the fentanyl epidemic in America?
Holy shit.
You don't want to get me started.
Well, who's selling the fentanyl? China?
Y'all here talking about drugs? Yo, y'all heard Justin Trudeau's speech today? He said that the fentanyl is the legal excuse for why they're putting the tariffs on Canada. But he was like, it's deeper than just the fentanyl shit.
What else was he saying?
Trudeau, he said that the Canadian border is like 99% secure.
Yeah.
Canada might invade America, man. It's a wrap for America.
Get the fuck out of here.
You do realize that Ukraine could fall to Russia, right? Like, Russia could actually do a full-scale invasion. I mean, that is not outside of the bounds of possibility. And, you know, Zelensky fucked up so bad in the White House today. All the news is Zelensky has contemplated his behaviors and is now seeking a peace deal. Like, you know, he fucked up. And Ukraine could fall. I mean, you know, it'd be real tragic because hundreds of thousands might die. Who knows how many would die? But, you know, Zelensky fucked up so bad. But who gives a fuck about Trudeau? Who could give two shits about that little fucking rat? I mean, everybody was listening. Did anybody watch the State of the Union address? All those victims that were there? You know, the family of the guy in Pennsylvania, the firefighter whose family was there, that he got killed. And then, I mean, he was like passing out awards and also like giving people jobs. I mean, it was an amazing State of the Union. He fucking rubbed those Democrats' noses in the fucking shit.
They show up in all their pink and shit. That shit was all right, look at these dumbasses. I was trying to see if one of the freaking one of the Democrat men would have showed up in a pink suit. That would have been funny.
Yeah, Congressman Green showed up with his cane. He was about to beat Trump's ass with that.
Yeah, they had to kick his ass out. Sergeant at Arms.
Alex, this nigga's the agent provocateur, man.
You shouldn't start no fights.
Oh man, OG Green was about to move that ass with the game.
That dumbass been a fool of himself, man.
Nah, he gangster. He stood on what? He stood on business. What are you talking about? Like,
he would have threw if he stood on business. He would have threw the king at him. He could have done it. He was like 10 feet away. That king would have went before. Agent could have stopped it.
That would be an L. He could have been charged with some, some other shit. You know.
Nah, he would have just been tackled and
probably primary.
Yeah, charged, whatever.
He ain't gonna lose. He got that shit on lock. Nah, you
gonna lose blocks. You gonna lose.
Come on, man.
The dude an idiot. Like have you heard him? Have you ever heard him speak like before? Like before, like when he's on like different shows. The guy's an idiot, bro. He say like some of the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life.
Yo, he's a fucking Democrat in Texas. His whole party is gonna look at he's gonna have a hard time when he go back there. He's stupid as shit.
I'm not telling him he's gonna get primary. Just like
what's my name? He got Houston on lock.
Hold on a minute. Right? What is that one dude? The one that put a fire extinguisher, the fire alarm.
Jamal Green.
Jamal Bowman. Wait.
Jamal Bowman primary. Nah, I mean, it's not Trump that primary if you know who you fuck with. You can't fuck with them boys, you know. Shit. They own America and they run America, so you don't fuck with them. Even Trump knows that. He had to put the C for Benjamin Netanyahu. He's like, sir, should I get you some water or some wine or some whiskey, BB? My God, my Lord and Savior. So you don't fuck with them. America knows not to fuck with them. Shit,
you know. Give me some of those. Yeah. Give me some of those Democrat.
There's videos of him holding the seat for other people.
Yeah, Jamal Bowman fuck with the Jews. That's why he got primary the fucked out. You know, he don't fuck with them boys. Everybody knows that. JFK got his brain blown off for fucking with them. Trump knows not to fuck with them, or Obama knows not to. No, but Americans can't fuck with them.
You're so full of shit, man. You're so full of shit, dude.
Your country will go back to the Stone Ages.
Are you saying the Zionists control the world and control America? Do you have Jewish derangement syndrome? Is this like, how long are you going to go on this tangent?
I like that. I'm a Zionist myself.
You're a Zionist?
Shit. Can't fuck with them.
Shit.
Your Billy ass will be going back to the Caucasus Mountain caves.
This dude, he just hates America, and anything, any topic, or any aspect, or any tangent that we go on, if you notice, he's always gonna land on the side of where America looks bad. So if we're talking about the Jews, all the Jews, they got America bent over and they fucking them in the ass.
Well, let's just ask them, what do you like about America? Is there anything?
The Chinese are beating them. Like that's all he's doing, bro.
Is there anything he likes about America?
You know that Somalians, that's not a race, right? You know that, right?
Those are the Nubians.
You know that's an ethnic group?
I'm actually not Somalian. I'm a Beta Israel. I'm a Jew. What are you talking about?
He's a sodomite and a Sudanese. He's from Sudan, I can tell.
Yeah, I see you need to go back to school. Your school system has failed you.
What are you talking about?
Not you, Money. I'm talking about this clown troll. I'm not talking.
Yeah,
clown troll. You the clown troll. You projecting.
I don't
care. Money time.
So why are you talking about blacks though? What are you talking about?
You brought up Somali people.
Yes, I brought up Somali
I just
people.
brought up a different fact. I'm just responding to your fact.
Your response doesn't make sense though, because I was responding to what Lex said about the Canadian president and what he spoke about the border. And I issue of Somalians in Minnesota, where there's a huge epidemic of fentanyl overdose.
I wouldn't say it's a huge
On the border.
fentanyl epidemic.
Yes, it is. You can go and pull up articles of Somalians.
Yes, absolutely.
No, there were a couple of deaths. I know about the.
I can get, okay, post the link because I can get links to what I'm talking about. I've watched testimonials and everything. What are you talking about?
I'm not here to go into a bitter back and forth here, but I can assure you the Somali community of Minnesota are not all drug addicts, if that's what you're trying to say here.
That's not what I said.
It don't matter. They're gonna get deported. Tens of thousands of them are gonna get sent back to Somaliland. Bye bye.
All right. So you try to make it a huge problem. No, it's not. In fact, like I said in the chat, there's a bigger problem here to address. That's all I'm gonna say.
Illegal immigration is a bigger problem. We don't care how many drugs these Somalis in Minnesota are using. We just want them to get on the 747s peacefully, and when they land in Mogadishu, they get off and they don't say nothing. Just get the fuck out of Minnesota. Bye.
They're not going anywhere now. Unfortunately, a lot of them are citizens.
Citizens, we're gonna revoke that citizenship and tie Ilhan Omar to the front of the fucking plane and fly that shit to Mogadishu. Bye bye.
At first, I thought it was a 6-year-old woman talking. Started talking like a normal man, and now you're back to that voice. What's going on now? You have an identity.
Nothing. We just flying Ilhan Omar back on the tip of a 747, and we loaded it up with Somalis from Minnesota. Bye bye.
Hey, if you put a brother in the back of it, you might enjoy that.
You can fit 3 Somalis per seat.
The Somalians are having 10 kids per family. They're going to outpopulate you by 2050. We're talking about...
They're going to have a breakaway Somaliland in Minnesota. Declare revolution.
They got strong...
Civil war.
Man, what's up with this transgender, man? You need to get more kids, man. You need to be fucking more women like these Somali noblemen, man.
So I think the Somalis in Minnesota are twice as likely to die from opioid overdose than their white counterparts. Why is that?
I don't know where you're getting
that
from.
Why are communities? I post a link for
you asked me a question. Yeah, no. So
I posted a link for where my getting from.
I'm responding.
Somali leaders who are speaking and reaching out. The government just gave over $20 million in grants for this issue. What are you talking about?
Yeah. If you let me for a second to respond.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to like act like somebody
respond here, or
Somalian people. Are you Somalian or something? If you are, why minimize the issue that your own people are speaking out against? Even the elders within the community.
I thought you were done talking.
So you're just going to erase that? Yeah, I want to erase that.
All right, so let me respond to it. So you reference an article as if it's a study, where the article that you're referencing is literally saying Somali elders having an issue with overdoses due to that drug. Now, like, what does that mean? Is that an actual study that shows that there was a rise in deaths? No, it means that, yes, there was an issue where elders are... Let me finish. I'll let you finish. Yo. Vanessa, let me talk. Come on. Listen. Just because some elders saw some kids die, which, I mean, the Somali community is very close-knit, okay? They're very close-knit. And at the end of the day, obviously they don't want any kids doing drugs, nonetheless dying from drugs. So if a few kids die from it, of course they're going to make it a big issue because it shouldn't be happening whatsoever. Perhaps in the black community, it's normal to be dying of drug overdoses where your elders aren't necessarily mad about it and are pretty okay with it. But in our community, at least,
Oh, I see what's going on. It's always the new Africans making fun of the old Africans in America. It's so racist and stupid and bigoted. It's like demeaning. They love to put down the ADOS here in America. Someone is a racist.
You gotta understand.
You a black supremacist racist, you dirty dog.
I don't know why y'all even here. Y'all need to leave.
saying is perhaps our community doesn't like that happening, so we bring it up into a bigger issue. Again, if your community is okay with it, that's your community.
What a piece of shit. There he goes again, slipping it in. You piece of shit, Sultan.
I'm sure the Somali community is okay with stuffing their fucking face with cot every fucking second.
Yeah, that's also one of the drug issues.
Yeah, we love cops. You didn't know that?
I'm the captain now.
We love that shit.
But you see how hold on a sec. But you see how motherfuckers be talking when y'all
Yo, they kill those fucking those Navy SEALs, snipe the fuck out of those niggas, bro. You saw that movie, bro? You saw the bro, blew the fuck out, bro. Holy shit.
Nah, Skull.
Those Navy SEAls are crazy, bro.
Fucking deadly, bro. You want to talk about Black Hawk snipers, bro? Your own fucking government fucking.
Nah, man, I saw them brains blow, bro. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, bro. Your own fucking government literally flooded your streets with crack. It made a whole community fucking crack addicts.
It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
Bro, you're in Canada, first of all, so you can't even see what the fuck is going on down here. I'm sure you're the Canadian black soil, right?
For real.
But in America, at least, half the prison.
Yo, don't you guys notice? He looks a little Somali. His forehead is like a little Somalian.
Your money is big, my fool.
Yo, half the
so much AIDS in Somalia.
Half the prisons got black niggas in there, bro.
And why y'all
I think we should address that problem, bro. I think that's what we should address. And Somalia,
why y'all ain't got no food over in Somalia? Why y'all always starving and have farming and shit?
Yo, what country are you from, Pernell? So I can cook you real quick. I mean, what country are you from, bro?
He's from the Caribbean.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't trick me. We don't be starving in the Caribbean. We got Oscar for days.
I ain't gonna talk about former slave stuff, bro. Please, just sit down.
Oh my God, this fucking piece of shit. Mute this motherfucker. Mute this motherfucker. This motherfucker.
Y'all over there. The last time Somalia was.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. They had a soundboard too. Didn't she have a soundboard?
Yeah. It tricked that.
Oh my God, the anti-Semitic Jew haters have united in power.
Shut the fuck up. Perfect,
Oh man, I got goo really good this morning. Used him as like a total overlay with Jazzy.
Alright, bro. Elaborate.
It is wise for you to receive the dick. You demon. You just, how dare you abandon Jesus, you fucking demon. Chapter and verse. Chapter, I demand chapter and verse, you demon.
Can you mute yourself, Galaxy? Your dick ain't that wise.
In a fucking prison cell telling me what I gotta do. Chapter and verse, you demon.
Get a life, Jeremy. Do something with yourself. Stop hanging out with all these monkeys all the time talking about nothing.
The fuck, nigga, you talking about Alistair Crowley all fucking day?
Reading a book. I'm trying to make myself smarter, you fucking idiots. Read a book. Read a book.
Do you find Alistair Crowley attractive?
I find your mama attractive. That's why I slipped my big phallic dick in her ass.
Phallic dick is crazy because isn't okay, never mind.
Yeah, super redundant.
It's called the power of the phallus in that booty.
Cock, bitch, use less syllables. Also, do you guys realize that saying www is like 9 syllables, but saying World Wide Web is 3?
Jesus, you are a fucking moron. Shut up, Jeremy. Do you ever have anything intelligent to say? The fuck is wrong with you?
Never. How dare you?
Why is your title so stupid? America is not the next Russia, you dumb motherfuckers. And the biggest military doesn't always win at all. Haven't you ever heard of an inferior fighting power win over a superior fighting power? Who the fuck left Afghanistan? America, you fucking idiots. We withdrew. We lost 20 soldiers in the pull out. Pull out. Pull out. Pull out. Pull out. Pull out.
Agreed. Open your mouth now.
Pull out. So did anybody like the State of the Union address? Any complainers? There's always a complainer in the bunch.
Fuck watching that shit. Don't nobody give a fuck.
Yo, Jeremy, send this man a starfish, bro. The fuck?
Hey, nobody give a fuck.
Open your mouth now.
Send him a
It
starfish.
sounds like you got fucking something in your mouth, princess.
You said what?
I said, it sounds like you got something in your mouth, fatty.
Pull out and keep it in. Pull out and keep it in.
So hold on, can we just double click on what MD just said? Because I think it's important. I mean, it really is. Like, honestly, like, hold on. But what he just said is actually, like, legit, really important. And I don't care if that's your daughter. I don't care if that's you. Like, it's going to change your life whether you choose A or B based on what MD just said. Like, we all know that. Like, we're all adults. We know that. Like, it's so important. But also not relevant to the topic. I'm just going to put that out there. But also, like, super relevant indeed.
Anyway, America don't ask for permission to do a motherfucking thing, okay? When you think about Americans, like, what's standard American, right? I think of the all-American white boy who played football in college. He drives a souped-up truck that his dad pays for, okay? He's a little yee-yee. They rape bitches. That's what America stands for.
What?
You over here talking about, oh, America's like putting the proverbial dick.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what America does.
You think America's a bunch of white boys driving around in leased pickup trucks raping women? You dumb motherfucker! What the fuck happened to you, princess?
Not even a courtesy finger beforehand, okay? America's gonna bitch you over and raw dog you.
Raw dog it. God damn, princess.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't deal with that annoying ass, shrieky ass voice. Like, fix that. Get you a new shtick. I don't like.
Yo, but fight back. Princess don't be booming motherfuckers, man. Fight that nigga.
And he's just annoying out and his.
Can't defend your position that you think America's a bunch of white men raping women in pickup trucks? The fuck?
Guys.
Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine, like, you trying to get there and that's what you have to hear?
Imagine having to listen to you talk about white boys raping women in the pickup trucks, you fucking moron!
Girls, can we just have a conversation? Really quickly, because this is a good conversation. And what Princess said was important, right? Is from the outside, as a Canadian, when I look at America, my view is very different than what Princess just said. She said, hey, when I look at America, it's just a bunch of privileged crackers fucking, benefiting off our misery. Yeah, I hear you. And when I look at America as a Canadian, I'm like, oh, that's that fucked up place where people go broke for getting cancer. It's that fucked up place where, like, you're more likely to be imprisoned if you're black. It's that fucked up place where if you are, black and get in prison for walking while black, you can't vote, and you work all day for 50 cents a day like a slave. Like, and then I'm just curious, like, do you guys see America like I do from an outsider, or like the rest of the world? Or do you guys see it as a princess?
I think it's both. I think if y'all put them both together, we might have a nice little sandwich. I think it's both.
That's a good. Andy, can you break that down? Because, like, I think that like the reality that the majority of imprisoned Americans in the freest nation in the world are black has more to do with the racist slavery history of America. And I actually think that most of those people are actually slaves, like are literal modern day slaves. They can't vote. They don't have any fucking sovereignty. A lot of them were put in jail for shit that didn't hurt anyone else's person or property. And the states and private corporations profit off of free labor.
Like, tell me why that isn't slavery. I'm
You know,
genuinely curious.
what I'm saying though, like them crazy little white boys that's riding around their daddy truck, that souped up that he bought them. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that's throwing us in the prison. They're the ones that's taking it. Somebody they grabbing it by it. They grabbing it. Like they grabbing it. So it's all related together. I always found myself attracted to the boys with the big suit.
You know what, Princess? Don't be chasing crackers just because they have power.
I don't marry a nigga.
Very hard.
How dare you?
I wouldn't. The only thing I'm chasing is dreams and the bag.
Hold on. What I heard MD say, right? I'm just curious on your take on this, right? Because I agree with MD, right? Is that listen, if you don't agree that the disproportionate representation of African Americans in private prisons who profit are black people, and you can't acknowledge the fact that the majority of the owners who profit of those private prisons are white, and you can acknowledge that the people who benefit from that slave labor of those African American prisoners are white owners of those private corporations, right? Like, if you can't acknowledge that modern day American prison system is literally just legal fucking slavery. Like, if you can't acknowledge that that's a thing in your system, and your response is like, oh, but white fuckers have pickup trucks. Like, can we have a conversation?
No, but I also feel like when, like, a lot of times, Jeremy, when we do have this conversation, when it comes up and people are like, pointing these things out, a lot of the white people get uncomfortable and they be like, oh, it's always a race thing with you. So
that's because you say white men rape women in pickup trucks.
Hello, calm yourself. Thank you. I think it's interesting because you are Canadian and you seem to know more about the history of this country and the history of the documents that govern this country than a lot of people who live here. Because whenever we try to have these conversations prior, it's like, well, slavery isn't a thing anymore. It's like you would have to literally go back and do your due diligence and look at the history, the foundation of this country, the foundation of the laws of this country, which goes back to the Constitution of the United States, and it goes back to the Bill of Rights. And so when you're looking at those documents and you're looking at what was happening in the world at the time that certain things were put into place, like the 13th Amendment, you know what I mean? Or like, you would have
Number 13!
Research. Okay. You have to really do your due diligence, do your research to understand why this is the issue that it is and why it is relevant to slavery. And why a lot of the plight of black people go back to slavery. And it's like, well, yeah, we're so far removed from it. Yeah, but we're not so far removed from racism, and especially when you look at the fact that the foundation of this country was literally established on racism.
So you're saying, okay, I know that there's foreigners that come into the NBA and are decent, right? And although I can see that people like Yao Ming that challenge Shaq, right? Even though I can see that, right? I don't think that if their country took more interest into basketball and gave them scholarships, it would make it more competitive. I don't think that it would be more of those people. I think it would be the same. Sounds like, you realize how asinine that sounds? You're saying, oh, I already know that there's foreigners that are there. I mean, come on, man, but it doesn't make sense. You're saying, hey, look, there's already exceptions to that. Dude, you already agreed that there's exceptions, right? And I'm saying, what if you made...
Yeah, those are the exceptional Europeans that come to play in the NBA. Like, Giannis is exceptional, Luka's exceptional, Jokic is exceptional. These are exceptional athletes. But I don't think those are the best. I don't think overall they have better athletes than what we have here. They don't have the competition set up that we have that's better here. So that's just what it is.
So you don't see
I don't think how you can have... no, because they don't have better competition than here.
But that's what I'm saying.
You would have to showcase to me that they'll build better competition than what we have here.
Sure. No, actually I don't. For this argument,
I understand that the only reason why we have better competition is because, like, basketball is one of the dominant sports of America.
Yeah, that's
because we invest in it, right?
Yeah, that's what
No, but it's not because of the whole incentive of this competition is because basketball is a dominant sport. It's not because the Olympics exist.
Because we have a cultural incentive
like basketball is American.
And I already told Ford, I was like, imagine a country, right? And so I'm telling Ford, imagine like all these other countries, right? Like let's say like it becomes much more relevant to the point where there's a culture of it, right? And there's also programs for it too, right? If you already accept that there's exceptions of people coming into the league that are from foreign lands, right? Because they took an interest in basketball despite it wasn't the cultural dominant sport, or they took an interest in basketball besides, even though there wasn't all these programs for them to be as little kids weren't as common. Don't you think that if you made those more available, right, and there were scholarships, and it became culturally more significant?
Your belief in Christ and your adherence to His law. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what you're saying, D.
Yes, because He don't want to put His any. And God got white people that's filled with the Holy Ghost that know Him. Like y'all don't understand this. These people know God. Not all of them, but the ones that some people that roll with the Father, and that's their Father too.
I'm sorry.
Brother D, hold on. D is dropping bombs in here. D is dropping bombs.
He is dropping bombs.
I'm not saying all.
I'm just trying to figure out how we got here, though. Like, I'm trying to figure out what they have to do with what we were saying.
He Kim Jong-il right now, bro.
It's not that they know God. It's not that they know God.
Wait, how they get out of work?
They know how to interact.
How they get out of the work?
The Lord. Hold on, man. Let me get it out. You don't agree with me, you just don't agree with me. But this is the reason why they know in our law we shouldn't be doing certain things. But they propagate that shit all